This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, COVID case numbers continue to rise with strong demand for testing causing traffic congestion in Dunedin. A former MP begins a new career with the aim of serving an important community. And a large street art mural is taking shape near Dunedin's wharf area to raise awareness of deep sea trawling. Tēnā koutou katoa, kia ora, good evening, I'm Dave Gooselink. There are nearly 3,000 new community cases of COVID-19 in New Zealand today, including 206 in the southern area. The government says the steady increases are in line with predictions, given the spread of the Omicron variant.
The rising daily total is in line with the predictions of COVID modellers, who estimate we haven't yet reached peak COVID in New Zealand. Yesterday, the Prime Minister said they're expecting cases to peak in about 3 to 6 weeks' time.
So what I've set out today is based on modelling an overseas experience as a view that in 3 to 6 weeks we'll likely see that peak. And what we'll then be looking for is a clear indication that we are on the other side of it, that hospitalisation rates have normalised, and our health system has demonstrated that it's been able to hold up against that higher caseload.
Today's figures show there are 143 people in hospital across the nation, while in Dunedin a pathology lab worker has tested positive for COVID-19. There have also been cases in several schools and locations around Dunedin, causing strong demand at testing stations. Queues for walk-in and drive-through tests at the North Dunedin Community Testing Centre brought about delays on State Highway 1 heading north, causing heavy traffic congestion. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern understands there is a backlog of tests needing to be handled, but says all tests will be processed.
We'll see we have overall enough PCR capacity. The issue is we have a lot of tests being taken in one region. So rapid antigen tests are being rolled out. We're replacing PCR in some of those surveillance areas to put some extra capacity in. And at our community testing stations, you'll see rapid antigen tests used from today.
The Ministry of Health has today emphasised the need for the right people to get tested, given the continued high demand. The advice is people should only get tested if they have cold or flu symptoms, if they've been identified as a close contact of a case, or have been asked to get tested by a health official. In Dunedin, The South Today.
An accident involving a welding machine and an aerosol can caused a workshop near Roxburgh to erupt into flames late yesterday afternoon. Retired Miller's Flat man Colin Bain had been welding in his shed in Craig Flat Road when an aerosol can dropped from his workbench, punctured and sent out a spray of paint. The paint ignited instantly, with the flames quickly enveloping workshop tools, a lathe and a collection of 7 Honda motorbikes. Bain escaped out a side door, singeing the backs of his hands in the process. Firefighters from Miller's Flat and brigades from Roxburgh and Alexandra were able to contain the fire initially before it flared up last night. Former Dunedin South MP Claire Curran is taking on a new role. The former politician has been busy working on writing her first crime novel, but now she's taking on a new leadership role at a leading suicide prevention organisation.
Walking into her new office, former Dunedin South Labour Member of Parliament Claire Curran has moved on from the world of politics, but she's still wanting to make a difference, joining Dunedin's Life Matters Suicide Prevention Trust as its co-manager.
At the end of 2020, I was asked to go on the board of Life Matters Suicide Prevention Trust and also the board of the Dunedin Night Shelter, and I think they both represented two issues that were really dear to my heart, which were homelessness and mental health.
Curran faced many challenges during her time in Parliament and has spoken publicly about the stress of the political environment and being under the spotlight.
I am, like the rest of you, a human being, and I can no longer endure the relentless pressure that I've been under. I've got some of my own lived experience, and you know, it's part of my journey and about giving back to the community.
But the flip side to the stress of parliamentary life was her regular work with constituents. She believes the work Life Matters does runs along similar lines.
I really miss the constituent work in, you know, Dunedin South, and I think that the work being done here, which is offering direct support to people in mental distress, is kind of an extension of the work I was doing as an MP.
Life Matters hasn't traditionally received funding from local government. That situation could improve now Karen's on the team, especially if reforms to the Mental Health Act are made to introduce funding for peer support.
And I think we will see that changing and see peer support, people who can walk alongside you through your journey and support you and advocate for you as being embedded into the mental health systems.
Karen's position is a half-time role, enabling her to remain involved in other businesses and organisations. And her simple advice to anyone feeling distress is to reach out, either to whānau or friends, or services like Life Matters. In Dunedin, the South Today.
It's 11 years ago on this day that a devastating 6.3 magnitude earthquake struck Christchurch. While official commemorations were dropped due to COVID-19 alert settings, many people still took the time to pay their respects. More than 200 people gathered at various points beside the Canterbury Earthquake National Memorial to commemorate the 185 individuals who lost their lives in the massive quake. At 12:51 p.m, the time the earthquake struck, a handbell loaned by Christchurch Cathedral was struck to remember those who died. Bell ringer Julie Hibbs lost her mother in the CTV building collapse.
Like today, every other anniversary that rolls around, it just constantly reminds us of what happened on 22nd of February 2011. And it just...
Family and friends tossed flowers into the Avon River as a parting gesture in memory of their loved ones. Some families left wreaths with the emotions just as strong for some as they were 11 years ago. A new street art mural is being painted in Dunedin's Warehouse district, aimed at drawing attention to the damage done by sea-bottom trawlers. The giant artwork was commissioned by a deep-sea campaign group, which says sponge and coral populations on the seafloor are being destroyed by bottom trawling nets.
Creating a mural about the oceans around us. Napier-based artist Cinza is working near Dunedin's wharf area, painting a mural with a conservation message about the potential harm deep-sea trawling can have on the ocean floor. The large artwork depicts a range of vulnerable sea life, such as corals, sponges and fish species, including orange ruffy.
Specifically, they wanted to focus on the orange ruffy for this one, as it's a targeted species for deep-sea fishing, which is great because it's a very expressive-looking fish and you can have a lot of fun kind of really accentuating some of those features there.
Cinza's mural was commissioned by the Deep Sea Conservation Coalition and will include a QR code linking to a petition calling for an end to sea-bottom trawling in New Zealand. The petition's already been signed by 70,000 people, but Carly Thomas says many don't know the damage being caused by dragging nets along the bottom of the ocean.
And the main reaction we've had from people is, yep, that's a terrible thing, but is it still happening here? Like, they're really surprised. So most people think that it's already been banned in New Zealand. There's been some campaigning about it in the past, and people just thought that we'd ended it because obviously dragging a big heavy net through a delicate ancient coral forest is not a good idea.
This is the second of 3 murals Cinza's creating for the Deep Sea Conservation Coalition, with funding coming from donations received by the group.
I've been painting walls for about 15 years now, so I've got murals all over the country and overseas. I've been very privileged for different experiences to jump around the world painting murals.
Cinza is planning to paint his third and final deep-sea trawling mural in Wellington in a few months' time. In Dunedin, the South Today.
E whaia ake still to come on the South Today. A grand Edwardian mansion in need of some TLC goes on the market near Clyde, and why one pensioner wants free bananas for kids in supermarkets banned.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life. Tuesdays, 7:30.
Spark your joy with jazz, the next generation from Honda.
We're Age Concern Otago. Age Concern Otago hosts a multitude of social activity, including interwalks.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Alert, alert, sale, closure, imminent, sale, closure, imminent.
My mate John's massive annual sale must end soon.
The big one.
John slashed a whopping 20 to 80% off his entire range of rock bottom, warehouse price furniture and beds. His low prices are even lower, but not for long. Shop in store or online with click and collect or contact free delivery.
The big one. Where did you get that furniture from? Stafford Street. And my mate John.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Every day the team at Gillian's supports grieving families at their time of need. From answering your questions to organising a farewell that reflects the wishes of your loved one, we can help. Call Gillian's today.
Hi there, guess who? You recognise the eyes? Oh, okay, it's a haircut. Anyway, it's Lindsay here from Campbell's Menswear. Our 3 stores are carrying on as usual. Despite what's happening in the world, we have got some great stock for you. Personally, I've spent 50 years in this business, and we have some excellent supplier relationships. We've got great stock, it's hand-picked, it's here, it's on time, and it's ready for this great summer.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So, as my favourite cut says, keep calm and carry on.
Welcome back. A Christchurch woman wants free bananas in supermarkets banned. 66-year-old Rose Kerr says the fruit, intended to keep children happy and occupied during shopping trips, is horrendously dangerous. Kerr took a tumble and suffered bruises after slipping on a smashed banana at the Countdown supermarket at Christchurch's The Palms Mall. She believes the smashed banana had been discarded by a child and is concerned an older person could break their hip in a similar situation. Countdown has no plans to alter its popular Free Fruit for Kids program, but says duty managers will do floor checks every 30 minutes to check for fruit litter. A 2-storey doer-upper with a history is for sale near Clyde. Earnscleugh Station Homestead is a grand Edwardian mansion built in 1919 on what was then a sheep run of nearly 30,000 hectares. The land area has now been reduced to just 20 hectares and the house is in need of some tender love and care.
A historic homestead with good bones. The nearly 100-year-old Untitled Station homestead near Clyde is on the market for those not scared to tackle a doer-upper project on a pretty large scale.
This is original homestead on the station, and it had been broken down and it was sold with 200 odd hectares 6.5, 7 years ago.
The once stately manor is now on a site of just 22 hectares. Real estate agent Gary Kirk admits the building has some water damage from a leaking roof, but insists its brick and woodwork is all sound.
It is needing of some love and care, and the owners have decided to let someone take it over to save it and make it back to its original self.
Untitled Station originally covered nearly 30,000 hectares of abandoned sheep country, its bare hills swarming with rabbits. In 1902 it was bought by Stephen Spain, who made a fortune selling rabbit pelts and running a cannery to supply rabbit meat to the domestic market and soldiers overseas. At the end of World War I, noted architect Edmund Anscombe drew up plans for a castle-like building in the Edwardian style of the time.
It's built in the 1920s. I think it's in reasonably good order. The timber work and that is amazing.
The homestead is for sale by deadline negotiation, with bids closing in early March. Near Clyde, the South Today.
The new owners of the Teshmakers Resort in North Otago believe it has great potential to become a top-rated destination site in New Zealand. The former Catholic girls' boarding school, just south of Oamaru, was sold to an Auckland couple earlier this year. The buildings have been used more recently for guest accommodation, as well as a wedding venue and conference centre. The new owners plan to continue providing accommodation for international and domestic tourists. They'll be looking to work closely with the local community to make the collection of buildings on the 10-hectare property an important, thriving landmark in Oamaru. There are plans to expand Teshmakers' capacity by developing a further dormitory building into 24 ensuite studio guest rooms. After the break on the South Today, celebrating 125 years of competitive bowling in Gore and warmer temperatures in store as we head towards the weekend. Hea koko akane.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life, Tuesdays, 7:30.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
MTF Finance can help you turn the key on your next vehicle with a loan made just for you. TCs and lending criteria apply.
Livingwell Disability Resource Centre, a not-for-profit charitable organisation and your one-stop shop for information and resources to help you retain independence. We offer a wide range of assistive products from jar openers to mobility scooters and provide assessments for Total Mobility, the half-price taxi scheme. Come and see the friendly team. You'll find us on the corner of George and Bath Streets, ground floor of Burns House.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
Alert, alert, sale closure, imminent, sale closure, imminent.
My mate John's massive annual sale must ensue. The big one. 20 to 80% off his entire range.
And my mate John.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Welcome back. The Gore Bowling Club is celebrating its 125th anniversary, marking the milestone recently with food, drinks and some friendly games of bowls.
Past and present members of the Gore Bowling Club took part in the celebrations, along with Gore Mayor Tracy Hicks and Mataura Licensing President Horace Macaulay. The club was established back in 1897 after approaching the Gore Domain Board for land to host a bowling green. Gore nurseryman J.B. Perks, who went on to be a keen player, sowed the green later that year. Club members say it was the first time he'd attempted such a task, but made such a good job of it, he was later employed to create greens for other groups. The Gore Bowling Club currently has about 20 men and 4 women as players, with many competing at the higher levels of competition. In Gore, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. COVID case numbers continue to rise with strong demand for walk-in and drive-through testing causing traffic congestion in North Dunedin. Former MP Claire Curran begins a new career but is still serving the community as co-manager of Life Matters Suicide Prevention Trust. And a campaign group behind a large street art mural being painted near Dunedin's wharf area hopes to raise awareness of the damage of deep-sea trawling. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Joe Simpson.
Hi. Missteps by the DCC prevented residents hit by a lead scare from getting the timely information they deserved, the Mayor has conceded.
Ooh.
The owner of a pet deer, it's shot and butchered by her neighbour, says while the courts view it as poaching, it was cold-blooded murder. And it has been her life and passion, but now it is time to walk away. Oamaru ballet teacher Lorraine Fodey has retired from the ballet floor, ending a teaching career which started 61 years ago.
Good on that. Sounds like a good career. Joe, thank you.
Thank you.
And now time for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Starting with the situation, an anticyclone will bring fine weather to the region tomorrow and on Friday. Looking at what's in store for the southern towns. Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore can all expect fine weather with light winds and highs of 19 or 20 degrees. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes region, Wanaka, Queenstown and Alexandra are all in for clear skies and light winds with highs of 21 to 22 degrees. Slightly cooler but similar weather for Tiano with a high of 19. To the northern towns and along the coast, Timaru is in for light easterlies and fine weather with a high of 18. Oamaru can expect afternoon northeasterlies and clear skies and 18. It'll be warmer further inland with Twizel and Omarama in for clear skies and highs of 22 to 23 degrees. In Dunedin, showers should clear later tonight with southwesterlies decreasing and an overnight low of 13. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and cool southwest winds dying out. Sunny periods may develop in the afternoon, a high of 16 and a low of 9. And on Thursday there'll be low cloud with sunny periods increasing during the day. Expect fresh breezy nor'east winds, a high of 19 and a low of 14. And in Invercargill, the showers should clear with an overnight low of 9 degrees. Tomorrow, cloud for a fine and sunny day in the morning, becoming milder in the afternoon, a high of 18. And it'll be mostly fine and sunny on Thursday, with some high cloud and milder northerly winds developing, a high of 22 and a low of 13 degrees. And that's the news this Tuesday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. And you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. Hei do, ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.